In this video, we will go through 5 questions that you will be asked, no doubt, when you apply for a project manager's job. I've been asked those many times and I've learned how to answer them properly. But before we get into this, you need to bear in mind 3 things when you go for an interview. The first thing is, as mentioned in another video, your answer should be based on who's asking you the question. The second is you have to gauge if the company is pragmatic or process-driven. But more importantly, if there is only one thing to remember from this video, is that when you are being interviewed, the person asking you the question only needs to know one thing. Will you be able to implement projects on time and on budget for me? All the questions will be based around that. He or she wants to know if you will be able to implement projects on time and on budget. Forget about communication, forget about quality, forget about all that you've learned, all the theory on the project management that is very important that you would like to show off. The only thing they are really interested is, will you be able to implement on time and on budget? So having said that, the first question, let's get started. What is your weakness? Remember, on time and on budget, you have to give a weakness that will help you delivering on time and on budget. So what type of weakness can you give? What I like to say is, I can be a little bit pushy with teams sometimes. I can really be a bit too much. I can be micromanaging too much when I know that the time frames are tight and I'm concerned that the project is not going to be implemented on time. So that's a very subtle way to say that, yes, I will do the job for you, even if I have to push the guys a little bit too much. For this, you have to be a little bit careful, especially if HR is sitting in a meeting with you. But find a weakness that will help you implement on time and on budget. Are you hands-on as a PM? Once again, I'm laboring the point. They want to know if you will be able to deliver on time and on budget. And if you are not hands-on, you think that will increase the chances of projects to be delivered on time and on budget? No, learn from my mistake. Once I did the project management speech and I said, I cannot be too hands-on because if I'm hands-on, I lose sight of the big picture and the project could go astray and the likes. Don't say that. Don't make the mistake I made. They want to know if at the end of the day, when you are 2 days from implementing, if you will be just sitting there or if you'll be doing whatever it takes to get the project over the line. So the answer is yes, I am hands-on. Give examples if you have done that in the past. I know personally, I said, yes, I'm very hands-on. I deployed 25,000 desktops on the project and I had a screwdriver in my briefcase. That is a true story, just to show that, yes, I have done it in the past and I will do it again to get things over the line. How do you deal with clients who keep asking for changes? So there are 2 ways to look at this. The obvious way is that they have clients who keep asking changes and they have project managers in the past who were a little bit too weak and they let those changes go through and therefore the projects ended up being late. So this is the case most of the time. So the magic word for this, you have to mention change control. That you say, for every change that is being put to me, I go through the rigorous change control process to ensure that the project doesn't go over budget or over time. So you need to give them the confidence that, yes, you will stop all the changes to ensure that the project will go on time and on budget. But there could be another side to that question. There could be a test to see how flexible you are. They might have had project managers that were a little bit too strict and therefore the relationship with the clients was not good because the project manager keeps pushing back and pushing back and pushing back. So you have to make a bit of an opening at the end of that question, if you like. You have to say, having said that, when the change is very small and with the agreement of all parties, I can be a little bit flexible because at the end of the day, we're implementing changes that are important for the company. What do you do when a project is late? So this is an unfair question for the project manager because they always expect you to fix everything. They always expect you to, even if the team is not performing, even if you have change of scope and the likes, they always expect you to deliver and to fix the problems. So this is a bit unfair, but you have to play the game. They're trying to trick you, play the game. 2 parts to answer these questions. The first one is, I would say, I would give all the components, all the things by the book that you can do to bring a project forward. So you say, I can do parallel work, I can do phase implementation to deliver early benefits, I can ask the team to work longer hours, I can get in additional resources, I can do the agile approach, early testing on some components to reduce the overall testing time and therefore to bring the project forward as well. I can do daily stand-ups to make sure that everybody is on board and the communication is good and quick, and therefore will impact positively the project. And you can say you have plenty of brainstorm, a technical, a planning brainstorm. But once you've said all that, you say, look, this is why project managers were being paid big bucks, right? It's when things don't go according to plan. Otherwise, you would need a project manager. Yes, I will try all this, but at the end of the day, if there was a magic formula for me to fix the problems, then it would be too easy. You could have a robot doing my job. Yes, I can do everything by the book, but also the lateral thinking is most often than not what will take us over the line. So I will be there for you. I will help you with this. I'm not gonna just be hands off. It's a tricky question, but you can turn it into a way for you to put yourself forward. When can you start? So that's it, you made it. They ask you this question, you've got a job already. They ask me when I can start. Yes, it might be true 90% of the time, but the cynical in me sometimes is wondering if they are not doing a test on your loyalty. At the end of the day, during the interview, you're not working for them, yet you are still working for a company. Unless you're unemployed, of course. What can hide behind that question? What can hide behind that question is how loyal are you with your current employer? If you say, well, look, I can leave very quickly. I can be there next week, not a problem. I'll find a way around, I can go very quickly. Instead of that, what I would say is, look, I have a very good relationship with my current employer. And I'm quite confident that we can find a way, if you need me early, for me to organize with them to leave early. But at the end of the day, I have 4 weeks notice on my contract, and unfortunately, I have to stick to this because this is the agreement I have with them. So you see what I'm doing here. I'm talking about contract, I'm talking about agreements. That is still very important, that you don't want to break any agreements. So this is it, 5 questions. Stay tuned, I'll have more in another video.